Hello student, today we are going to study NCERT class 10 history chapter 1 the rise of nationalism in Europe. This is the third segment of this video. In the previous two segments what we have learned that how the nationalism started in the Europe, why it started because the number of the people used to fascinated with the idea of the French Revolution, because in which they have started the liberalism, the liberty, the nationalism, the republic. So the number of the different parts of the Europe, or you can say the country, the kingdom, they are fascinated think that we want the democracy in our own country, we want our constitution, we want the freedom, we want the equality in the our own place, in our own kingdom, in our own country. So they thought that with this kind of nationalism we have to start it. So far we have seen that in the different parts of the in the different parts of the European continent, you can say that in which we find the number of the places where earlier it was divided, now we are seeing as them united. So how they have the different measurement, like if they used to measure the particular cloth, they have the different centimeters according to the places. So they adopted the weighing machine for the exact measurement, because when the Napoleon Bonaparte used to came in the France, he used to come with the idea of the monarchical government, and also introduced the modernization, but he was defeated in the number of the wars in the Europe. So by the Treaty of Vienna, that is 1815, where the France is to come under a certain restriction that in the future he can't going to conquer the other parts of the Europe, and the certain of the places, if we talk about the Persia, if we talk about the Russia, if we talk about the Poland, if we talk about the Germany, they do not have to touch this part of the country. None of the country used to cover their own strength where they used to do the work, so they left behind the Germany, because the Germany is having the 39 state over that time, so it didn't touch that in that treaty. So what I mentioned that they used to follow the modern techniques which is taken by the, or which is introduced by the Napoleon in that particular places. So this all the ideas so far we have discussed the what are the changes take place. Earlier the people are using the old regime, or you can say the old idea or the old belief or the old traditional values which they want to follow, and later on they are not in the favor of the to use the modern technology. These are the things which we have learned so far. We have learned that due to the modernization, number of the people have adopted the new ideas, the new, you can say, modern techniques by which they can see the number of the reforms, number of the changes in the different parts of the world. So, in the different parts of the world, especially in the Europe. So, in this segment, before starting the segment, what are the points we have to cover in this segment? First is the revolutionaries, which was left behind that. Then the age of the revolutionaries, 1830 to 1848. This both the things in detail. This one also in detail, the romantic imagination and the national feeling. And the last one, which topic in this segment, we're going to discuss in brief the hunger, hardship, and the popular revolt. In the revolutionary, how many revolutionaries used to come? Before starting this lecture, I'll tell you one more thing. Then we have saw one more thing, the emergence of the middle class. If the middle class are highly educated, they have lots of money. So what they thought that we want our own elected representative, we want our own constitution, we want our own, you can say the government, where which they want to choose their own representative. They want, what they want is the equality, that all the persons should be equal before the law, and they want the equality. It doesn't mean you give the preference to the particular person at the utmost level rather than you are not giving the preference to the different person. So they want the equality, the freedom of speech, the addresses. So the number of the things they want to see changes in it. So that's why the middle class of the Europe, they come under, you can come under with the certain privilege they are enjoying, because their idea is very much good. They want to see the country as the democratic rather than the monarchical. Now come towards this on the page number 12, the revolutionaries. First you have to see the figure, this figure 7, which states that the Gluspec magazine and the founding of Young Europe, that is 1813, print of Giacomo Mantegazza, which has made this print during the year of following 1815, a fear repression drove many liberal nationalists undergone secret societies spread up in the many European state to train the revolutionaries and spread their ideas to be revolutionary at this time meant a commitment to oppose the monarchical form that had been established after the Vienna Congress and not to fight the liberty and the freedom. Now, during the 1815, the fear of the repression drove many liberal undergrounds. Secret societies sprang up in the many European states to train the revolutionaries and spread their ideas. To be revolutionary at this time meant a commitment to oppose monarchical form that had been established after the Vienna Congress to fight for the liberty and the freedom. They want to fight for the liberty and the freedom. Most of the revolutionary also saw the creation of nation state. The number of the people used to saw the nation state as a necessary part of the struggle for the freedom. But most of the revolutionary, those were they want show the creation of the nation state. Like in the nation, they want to say the different state as a necessary part of the struggle for the freedom. One such individual was the Italian Revolution. His name is Giuseppe Mazzini. Born in Genoa in 1807, he became a member of secret society of the Carbonari. As a young man of 24, he was sent into exile in 1831 or attempting a revolution in the Liguria. He subsequently founded two more underground societies. First, Young Italy in the Marseilles and the Young Europe in Bahrain, whose member was like-minded the young man from the Poland, France, Italy, and the German states. Mazzini believed that the God had intended the nation to be the natural units of the mankind, in which so that Italy could not continue to be the patchwork of the small state and the kingdom. Now they don't want the small, you can say the state and the kingdom. But later on, it had to be forged into the single unified republic within the wider alliance of the nation. The unification alone could be the basis of Italian liberty. Now they want the unification, you can say the alone their own government, that is the Italy. Following the model, the secret society was set up in Germany, France, Switzerland, and the Poland. Majorly relentless opposition to the monarchy. Now, earlier they were using, you can say the monarchy, then the democratic. Now, again, what they want is the monarchy. In the vision of the democratic republic, threatened the conservatives and Metternich described him as the most dangerous enemy of the social order. So these are the people from the different parts of the, you can say the Europe, the Germany, the France, the Italy. The number of the revolutionaries come up with the idea that we want our country as the republic rather than you can say the monarchy. So the age of the revolutions that is starts from 1830 to 1840. So this is the period in which the number of the revolutionary they came, they did the number of the revolution and they start the emergence of the democracy. They want their constitution and they want their elected representative. As a conservative region tried to consolidate the power, liberalism and the nationalism come to be increasingly associated with the revolution in many regions of the Europe, such as the Italian, German state, the province of Ottoman Empire, Ireland and the Poland. You have to keep this thing what the Ottoman Empire is the community of Ottoman and the Ireland and Poland. This revolution was led by the liberal nationalists belong to the educated middle class elite because they are at the supreme power over that time, among whom were the professor, school teacher, clerks, and the member of the commercial middle classes. The first upheaval took the place in the France in July 1830. The Bourbon king, who had been restored the power during the conservative reaction after 1815, were now overthrown by the liberal revolution. Earlier, it was like if you recall the class 9 what you have read in the French Revolution. First, earlier it was the monarchical, that is the Louis XVI used to do the has the power to rule over the France. In between that, the Rothschild took the power over with him. Then the Jacobin government set up the, you can say, the government in which they started the democratic. So earlier he was having the power. Then in the few years he is not having the power, and then again he gained the power in 1815. But by the liberal revolutionaries who installed the constitutional monarchy with the Louis Philippe at his head, when the France needs Michin was remarked, the rest of the Europe catches the cold. Now they make the statement that when the France needs means Chikna, Milic once remarked that the rest of the Europe catch the cold. The July Revolution sparked an uprising in the Brussels, which led to the Belgium breaking away from the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. Because it is a part of the UK now. It's not a part of the UK at that time because the July Revolution sparked an uprising in the Brussels, led the Belgium breaking up with the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. And even though mobilized the nationalist feeling among the educated elite across the Europe was the Greek War of Independence. Greece has been a part of the Ottoman Empire of the island of Poland. Since the 5th century, the growth of the revolutionary nationalism in Europe sparked of the struggle for the independence among the Greece which began in 1821. Nationalism Greece got the support from the Greek living exile. Now in the nationalism, the Greek people give the support to the many of the West European people. So the West European who had the sympathize of the ancient Greek culture, poet, the artist, Lawrence Greece as the cradle of the European civilization, and the mobilized the public opinion to support his struggle against the Muslim empire because the number of the Muslim empire over there. So they want to do the struggle. They want to do the revolution with them. They want to fight war with them, and they want their own power over there. So the English poet Lord Byron organized the funds and later went to the fight in the war, where he died for the fever in 1824. Finally, the Treaty of now the earlier was the Treaty of Vienna. Now this is another treaty, the Treaty of Constantinople of 1832 recognized the Greece as the independent nation because earlier the Greece is a part of the Europe. It's a part of the Ottoman Empire. Now Greece has the independent nation, or you can say independent country. Now the next topic of this chapter is the romantic imagination and the national feeling. The development of nationalism did not come about the only through the wars and the territorial expansion. That is true that the development of the nationalism it didn't come under this the war, or you can say the territorial expansion. Culture played an important role in creating the idea of the nation. Art and the poetry, story and the music helped express the shape of the nationalist feeling. Let us look at the romanticism and the cultural movement which sought to develop a particular form of nationalist sentiment. So the romantic artists and the poets generally criticized the glorification of the region and the science. They used to criticize the, you can say, the glorification or the modification of the region and the science. First, you can see the figure 8, the massacre. At chose the Eugene Delacroix. There is the picture is of which is made in 1824. The French painter Delacroix was the one of the most important French romantic painter. The huge painting is of 4.19 centimeter into 3.54 meter. Depict the incident which the 20,000 Greek was said to have been killed by the Turks on the island of Chios by dramatic the incident, focusing on the suffering of the women and the children. That the number of the people is to die. So most of the suffered by who are the people who had suffered from this incident that are the women and the children. And using the vivid colors, Deluxe sought to appeal to the emotion of the spectator and create the sympathy of the Greek. So I'll focus instead on the emotion, institution, intuition, and a mystical feeling. This effort was to create a sense of shared collective heritage, a common culture past, and as the basis of the nation. So they have effort to create the sense of shared collectiveness, the heritage, culture past as the basis of the nation. Now, other romantics such as the German philosopher John Gottfried Herder, that is 1744 to 1803, claimed the true German culture was to be the discovered among the common people, that is this Volk. It was through the folk song, folk poetry, folk dance that the true spirit of the nation Volksgritty was popularized. So collecting the recording this forms of folk culture was the essential to the project of the nation building. It was essential for them for the nation building. They emphasize on the vernacular language. Now you are thinking what the vernacular language is. The people used to speak their own native language. That is called the vernacular language. And the collection of the local folklore was not just to recover in the ancient national spirit. You have if you recall if you have read in class 6, 7, and 8, as well as the 9, the number of the people who used to speak their, you can say the local language. So the people who have the idea what their kings or what their different leaders had did that time that we can learn from the folklore. Folklore means the people who used to sing the, you can say the desi song, in which we come to know that the particular king had did at that time or whatever the things they did at that time, what whosoever the king used to come, whosoever died, who had successor throne over that, and what kind of victory in which war like he got the he used to win in particular in which war, and what kind of changes he took at that time. So the collection of local folklore was not just to recover and the Asian national spirit, but also to carry the modern national masses to the large audience who were mostly the illiterate. So this the people who used to speak, you can say who used to sing the folklore or carry the modern national message to the larger audience who were mostly what the illiterate. These people are not the literate. This was especially so in the case of the Poland, in the case of Poland, not the case of Poland. In the case of Poland, then those who are the revolutionaries, they have the modern ideas, but they are the illiterate, which had been partitioned at the end of the 18th century by the great powers. Now it's the particular great power Russia, Persia, and Austria. Even though Poland no longer existed as the independent territory, because national feeling was kept alive through the music and the language. Karol Kruspinks, for the example, celebrated the national struggle through his opera and the music, turning the folk dance like the Polonaise mazurka into the national symbol. Language too played an important role in the developing nationalist sentiment after the Russian occupation. The Polish language was forced out of the school and the Russian language was imposed everywhere. In 1831, an armed rebellion against the Russia rule took place, which was ultimately what crushed. Then an armed rebellion where the Russian rule was took place, the ultimately crushed. So the earlier the whosoever the ruler over there in Russia was crushed over there because of the rebellion of the army. Following this, many members of clergy of the in the Poland began to use the language as the weapon of the national resistance. Now they are using the language as the weapon because they also want the war. Polish was used for the church gathering and all the religion instruction. Now in the Poland, the Polish language is used in the church. That the people used to adopt the more and more language of the Polish. As a result, a large number of the priests, bishops were put in the jail or sent to the Siberia by the Russian authorities as the punishment for the refusal of the preach in Russian. Because these people used to preach or they used to do the worship in the Polish language, because what the Russian want, they want that they use the Russian language rather than the Polish language. So they used to send the father, the priest to the they used to put them in the prison and they used to send him in the jail in the Siberia. This was the Polish king to be seen as the symbol of the struggle against the Russian dominions. Now, we discussed this point in brief. Not in brief, we are going to take in detail hunger, hardship, and the popular revolt. That in the 1830s were the year of great economic hardship in Europe. The first half of the 19th century saw an enormous increase in the population all over the European, but in the 1930s, you have to keep this in mind. You can see the enormous increase in the population. In the most countries, there were more seeker of the job. Now, the population increase, food demand is increased, job demand is increased, and we want to give them the more the employment. So, population from the rural areas migrated to cities to live in the overcrowded slum. Now the people now they are not able to live in the most of the people can't able to live in the urban, so they are like migrating from one place to another. They used to live in the overcrowded slums in the urban areas. Small producers in town were often faced with the stiff competition from the imports of cheap machine-made goods from England, where industrialization was advanced than on the continent. This was special so it's the textile production, which was carried out mainly in the homes or the small workshop and was only partly mechanized. In the other region of the Europe, where aristocracy still enjoy the power, like the number of the aristocracy were there, they were enjoying their power in the Europe. Peasants struggle under the burden of feudal dues and the obligation, means the loans which you have they taken and the tax which is levied on them. The rise of food price of the year of the bad harvest led to the widespread pepperism in the town and the country, because when they have like not a good rainfall, so the price of the food is increasing, and so the people are not able to take the food because the price is that much high that they can't afford it to buy the bread. In year 1848, one such year, food shortages, and the widespread unemployment brought the population of the Paris out the roads. That is, barricades were erected, and the Louis Philippe was forced to flee. Now he is forced to flee. Uh, National Assembly proclaimed the republic, in which, that is the 1848, the national proclaimed as the republic. Earlier it was monarchy, now it's a republic. Granted the suffrage to all the adults, males to above the 21, and guaranteed the right to work. National workshops to provide the employed were set up. So you can see the peasant uprising in 1848 in this figure, how they used to come over the gap. Because in the France, if you recall in the last night you have read in the French Revolution, how they used to increase the price of the particular food, which I give you the quotation over there, which is not mentioned in the book, that the wife of Louis XVI, what she said, that if you do not have the money to buy the bread, so you can go to buy the cake rather than the bread. Now how she is like, I'm using the word of foolish, because if the people is not having the money to buy the bread, so how they can go for buy the cake. So yeah, here what the thing is, how the stupidity over there, that the person is not having the money to buying the bread, so how they can go for buying the cake. So this kind of a things that they want to lead their life as a luxurious life, or you can say the lavish life. They're not thinking about the people, like the how the people, or you can say how the peasant, how the ordinary people are not having the money to buy the food, and how they are dying with the hungry, or you can say with the starvation, how they are dying. So this is the, you can say, our duty, or the duty of the royal people, or your duty of the king, that he or she has to think about the people, that how they are dying with the starvation. So they have to give them the money, or they have, rather than the money, they have to give them the food to eat, because the people are not going to die because due to the starvation. So this is the one of the basic reason of the starting of this revolution, where the widespread why is it widespread, because there is the shortage of the food in the France, and the price of the particular food product is very much high, that people can't afford it because the people do not have the money. So in 1848, the Louis Philip was forced to flee. He used to flee over there, and a national assembly proclaimed a republic. Suffrage to all the adults with the 21, they can give the vote, and the guaranteed right to work, and national workshop to provide employment was set up. Earlier in 1845, weavers and salesmen had led a revolt against the contractors who supplied them the raw materials and gave them the order for finish the textile, but drastically reduced the payment. The generously Wilhelm Wolf described the event in a Celsius village as follows. In the village with 1800 inhabitants, cotton weaving is most widespread occupation. The most of the people over there in this village, they used to do the cotton cultivation. The misery of the workers is the extreme. The disparate needs of the job has been taken advantages by the contractors to reduce the price of the good they order. On 4th June to 2 p.m., a large crowd of the weavers emerged from their homes and marched in the pairs by the up to the mention of their contractors demanding the higher wages. They were treated with the scorn and threats alternatively. Following this, group of them forced their way into the house, smashed the elegant window panes, furniture, and the proclamation. Another group broke into the storehouse, plundered for the supplies of clothes, and which they tore off to the shed. Then the contractor fled with his family to the neighboring village, which, however, refused to shelter such a person, where he turned 24 hours later, having recognized the army. In the exchange that followed, the 11 weavers were short. Now think about they used to short the 11 weavers. Now this the 8040, the revolution of the rebels, we can going to discuss in the next segment of the video. So far in this segment, what we have learned that the revolutionaries, how the over a period of time in the talk about the from the France to the different parts of the Europe, how the revolutionaries they came, what the ideas is, the number of the revolutionaries are mainly the young men from the different parts of the country. If we talk about the Germany, if we talk about the France, if we talk about the Poland, the different countries, the youth who come to over there. They start that we used to come together and we used the thinking to change the like the what are kind of pattern is going on in our country. So we have to change the pattern. We have to stop the monarchical government and we want the democratic government rather than the monarchical government. So they started a number of the initiatives that we want the equality, we want the freedom of speech, we want the equal rights, we want to do the work over there, we want the employment, we want the like a equal status, or you can say the equal respect, whether it's a rich or poor. So this are the certain mindset we have. Then we later we come to know that the people they are not that much educated. Those who are the revolutionaries. So the ideas is like according to the modernized idea where they most of the revolutionaries are fascinated with the modern world. So they used to address the people with the modern ideas by which the number of the people used to enroll in their revolutionary struggle, and they want their freedom, or they want their you can say the republic or the democratic country by fighting or by doing the number of the revolution and the reforms. Then later on you come to the age of the revolution 1830 to 1848. So here we can see the number of the countries, but especially the France, where how the peasant used to exploit by the you can say the royal people, or by the first estate or second estate people. They used to take the number of the tax from the third estate people only. So by increasing the price of the food, by increasing the price of the number of the products, and there are the shortage of the food in the market, so by which the number of the people have started the revolution, both the male and female, that the Louis have to flee from the France. And they in the 1848 what they said that now a country as the republic, in which they have give the equal right that we will give the work to the every person. The person means that especially the man who are above the age of 21 can give the vote, and all the person is treated equal before the law. So these are the changes we have seen. Then we talk about the Syria, that is another country where we can see the such type of revolution has started. Then we later on come to know in this one the romantic imagination, where we come to know that the number of the revolutionary come over there, they used to see the number of the changes that like from the France they adopted the number of ideas, the number of the beliefs that yes, we want to see the changes in our country just like the France. That doesn't mean that the monarchical going to be continued in the hierarchical way, like you, right now the grandfather, then father, then you, then your son. No, we have to stop it. The person who is eligible, the person who is up to the mark, so they want their own elected representative. Again, I'm saying they want to make their own constitution. They want the equality, the freedom of speech, everything they want, rather than the monarchy one. So they said that they have the condition like some countries having the very good, some countries not having. That's a bad situation. Then later we come to know about the hunger, hardship, and the popular reward. Because if you talk about the France, yes, there is a biggest thing, that is the hunger. Yes, there is the hardship and the popular reward by which the Louis Philippe have to flee, and they set up their own republic country where the people get all the rights what they want. That doesn't mean you suppress that people which who are not going to able to give you the text, who are not able to give you the all the things which you want. You are suppressing the minority people rather than the people who are eligible to give you the money. So you are not taking the money from them, you are taking, or you are suppressing that particular part of the society where they're not able to eat the food, and you are taking money from them. So these are the things which we have come to see, that how this people, or how this royal people, how this rich people used to suppress that people, that they are not able to give the money, and they are not able to do any kind of work in the terms of, if they can say, we can say that the higher the inflation, or you can say the stagflation, where the people are not able to pay the money. So far, we have discussed all of these things in this in this segment. I hope you like this video. Thank you.